Hello and welcome to the End User Report. This is Clarence.
And I'm Jamal.
Today's topic, we're going to discuss the iPad coming out for Verizon. We are going to do the episode a little different today. We are going to do this in two parts. I'm probably going to follow that format going forward. Jamal and I both kind of felt that 15 minutes really wasn't enough time to tackle the subjects that we get into. So this is going to be part one, and hopefully you guys will stay with us for about a half, watch part two. But before we do get into the subject matter today, I do want to start with one of the reactions that we had from last time where we discussed Windows Phone 7. All Good Your Name's Taken writes, for the reason that I'm quite interested in Windows Phone 7 are SharePoint and Office integration, Exchange integration, development for work, Zune, the start screen with notifications on it, Xbox Live, and finally, I just like the look of it. So for me, Windows Phone 7 is interesting because it can be my work phone and my personal phone at the same time. I am not stuck with a phone that doesn't integrate with the tools I use at work, and I'm not stuck with a boring phone either. Jamal, what's your reaction to that?
Well, it's one of the advantages that I talked about with the Windows Phone 7 is that it'll integrate seamlessly with all of the Microsoft products that you use every day.
All right. Well, my stance on it is still kind of the same. I think they're missing the mark a little bit. He does bring up some good points, but I just think there's some primary things that you want to be there in your first iteration. You know, copy and paste and things like.
Yeah, it would be nice to have copy and paste Microsoft.
So, but all good. Your name's taken. Thank you for listening. Thanks for the reaction. But let's get into the subject matter here. It seems like it's been the biggest news of the week. Everywhere I look, I do see, I see articles everywhere talking about the iPad coming out for Verizon, and that is going to go on sale on October 28th. Now, this is going to be a Wi-Fi only version. That's the important thing here. The stats are pretty much the same. 9.7-inch touchscreen, 16, 32, and 64 gigabit versions. Prices on those are going to be $629, $729, and $829 respectively. Now the difference is with Verizon, you're going to have to get one of their MiFi 2000 intelligent mobile hotspots and sign a contract with data plan to get on their network. The data plans are going to be $20 for 1 gig, $35 for 3 gigs, and $50 for 5 gigs, which gives you a little bit more options than AT&T's 250 megs for $14.99 and 2 gigs for $25. But Jamal, what are your feelings as far as the iPad on Verizon?
It's a win-win for both for Apple and for Verizon. The only thing I'm concerned about is this whole data plan. $20 for 1 gig, even though it is better than AT&T. You're looking at a device which eats data like nobody's business, and I could see easily somebody going through that 1 gig of data just from their own Netflix streaming alone.
Yeah, and then the overage charges would be are pretty high.
Now there is a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but maybe you can confirm this. Are they selling just a Wi-Fi version only without the MiFi adapter?
No, you have to have the MiFi to get this.
Okay.
I mean, when my feelings on it, at first I was really skeptical when I heard it was Wi-Fi only, but then I took a look at it, and I think what Verizon's doing here is actually pretty smart. Because they're selling the Wi-Fi version only, it's actually a little bit of a cheaper version than the one that you would get when you get on 3G. It's actually starting at $499. The MiFis that they're selling run roughly about $130. So if you look at it, what they're actually doing here is they're marketing this for roughly the same prices as AT&T, so it gives you kind of the illusion that they're on the same playing field, and really they're not. You go to AT&T, you get a 3G iPad, it's $629. You go to Verizon, you're paying $629 as well. You're only getting you're getting the Wi-Fi only version, and then you're using a Verizon's hotspot to get onto their 3G network.
Actually, to be correct, it's $629.99. Just a 99 cents difference.
Really, you have to.
Well, I know it's crazy. It's a marketing ploy. What do you expect?
It is a marketing ploy. I do think it is, like you said, good for both companies, but I think there are some shortcomings that I think people need to keep in mind here. Firstly, there's always the issue of contracts, where you go with AT&T, it's pay as you go, and overage charges. We discussed those. Those are going to be something you're going to want to keep your eye on. Also, the life of your internet connection when you're going through Verizon now depends on the life of the MiFi, which they say is roughly about 3 to 4 hours, give or take. Whereas the battery life they say for an iPad, I believe, is about 10 hours. So now not only are you kind of stuck carrying this extra device around.
I think that's the biggest thing for me. You're carrying an extra device. So not only do you carry your phone, now you're carrying your MiFi, and you're carrying your iPad. And for people who are on AT&T, you're only really carrying two devices, which is your iPhone and your iPad. So, I mean, it's great if you're a Verizon user, good for you, but I think if you're on AT&T and you're thinking about just jumping over to Verizon, I don't know if it would be worth.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my question. Well, this uses Wi-Fi. So if I have an iPad and I have a mobile hotspot, can I do this already? Do I
Well,
mean,
you need the Wi-Fi.
yeah, I mean, we don't really need the Wi-Fi. You can already do this. You can already get on Verizon's network if you have one of their hotspots and you have an iPad. So, again, it seems to be more of a marketing ploy. It seems to be more symbolic than anything else. But we both do agree that it is a good move for both companies. The one good thing I do see out of it, though, is, well, you're getting a mobile hotspot out of it and connect 5 devices up to it, but still.
Yeah, but a mobile hotspot that has a $20 1 gigabit and $50 5 gigabit. So I can imagine, let's say you're on your iPad and, I don't know, your wife is streaming videos on her laptop using your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, watching Oxygen or something.
Or something like that. It can really start adding up. And I mean, if you, again, look at the pricing, look at the fact that you have to carry another device, and I know for me,
And also, I mean, with the Verizon point, you're getting a little bit less of an iPad.
Yeah, you are. Exactly, that's true. And you're not getting, well, I'm not gonna say it, but
Go ahead and say it, man.
no, it's okay. You're not getting a 3G.
I'm an instigator. This is what
You're
I
not
do.
getting a 3G network, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you're still getting CDMA.
Well, yeah, we know that whole deal with Verizon.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I think you talked about it earlier, and I think you had really a good suggestion as to maybe holding out for Apple to hold out until Verizon comes out with their LTE or 4G network, then introduce the iPad and the iPhone at that time, which would be slated for about a year away from now.
Well, yeah, but Apple's not going to do that.
No.
Because they really don't have to, because Apple knows all they have to do is put a piece of fruit on something and people buy it. I mean, that's the
I was thinking of
reality.
something else.
Well, yeah, I don't want to know what you're thinking. But that seems to be the thing. I mean, for Apple, I actually think it's a good move because people are going to buy it.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
right around holiday season now. We're, less than a month away from the biggest shopping day of the year.
Yeah, and
People are going to buy this.
if you have somebody, a loved one who's on the Verizon network, and that's just a win-win for them. It would be great though if Verizon just offered just the Wi-Fi version alone. I think that would increase sales because then people could be like, well, I'm already a Verizon customer. Why not? Oh, they got the iPad there. Let me grab that too.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at the Verizon store, that would just make, I guess, sense to me.
Yeah, well, you're already like a deer in the headlights when you show up in that place anyways. You know, they've got 150 Android phones, and then they're going to throw the iPad in there. But that does bring up something that I did want to mention here. For all of you people that already have iPads, maybe you have the Wi-Fi only version and you want to get onto Verizon's network, that promotional price doesn't fly. So you're going to have to drop that extra $30 to get their wireless hotspot if you already have an iPad, and you're going to have to sign up for a contract. Or if it's the other way around, if you already have the hotspot, you're not getting that promotional price. Sorry.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, that's Verizon. That's how
Yeah.
they roll. We know
Yeah.
this. You know, they're not going to cut you any deals. So,
Here's another thing, and I thought that was interesting, and I don't know if I've spoken to you about it, but they're planning on, at least Verizon is planning on putting some kind of FiOS app for the iPad.
they already have a FiOS app, actually, for that.
So-
But here's the thing. The FiOS app, first off, you have to have file service,
Yes, obviously.
So, you're talking anywhere from $60 to $90 monthly. And the app, as of right now, only streams video when you're in the house.
Oh,
Because it's
that
Wi-Fi
really
only. So
stinks.
it's like,
So if you
why
had
wouldn't you
your
just go
Wi-Fi-
to another room and watch on your TV?
That doesn't make any sense, Verizon.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean-
I suppose you could go out on your patio and like prop the iPad up and watch it
That
while
would
you're
make the sense. I would think
drinking orange
more
juice or something, but
a selling point with me would be like I have my iPad with my Wi-Fi and I'm on a business trip and I want to maybe catch I don't know, that great show on Oxygen, and I can use my
Yeah.
Wi-Fi and my iPad to do that. Or with the FiOS, you have the DVR setting. You can catch a football game that you missed while you're on the plane. You can go to your hotel room, hook up your Wi-Fi, and watch the.
did you say
Yeah.
watching TV on Oxygen?
Yeah, I did.
Use your man card, dude.
I know. No,
But,
really, I
yeah,
know.
I think it's kind of like a dry run kind of thing, but right now, just if I can't take it outside of my house, what's the point?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. What is the point?
Yeah, you know, and then how's Hulu working on those iPads these days?
Not that I know.
Not that well.
I still, again, devices still pricey. Talking about the iPad. So this is not something that you can just go in and say, oh, I'm going to get this $200 device and it's going to solve things for me in my entertainment. So again, a lot to think about. And as a user, is it worth the price? Because you have the Samsung Fascinate, I
I
believe.
love it too.
And you can get most of your YouTube streaming and
Yep.
surf the internet. So again,
And as soon as 2.2 comes out for the Fascinate, I'll be getting Hulu because Flash 10.1's on that. So
exactly. So again, what would be the motivation for a user to say, you know what, I want to go and purchase, even at the minimum, a $629 iPad from Verizon?
well, that's just a 16 gig version.
Yeah,
If you want more space, you're talking
Oh.
dropping $829, then you've got taxes.
Oof, yeah. So
You're talking about dropping probably $1,000 right there.
no doubt.
For $1,000, you could get a pretty decent laptop and have a lot more functionality and a lot more free space, and you can watch Hulu. So
And let me put my conspiracy theory cap on. Ready? Hang on. Did you see that?
dude,
So anyway, my conspiracy theory here is that I don't think Verizon and Apple care about users, about getting the iPad. I think it's more,
it's a money grab, and it's yeah.
definitely a money grab, but I think it's, in my opinion, it's going to be the next step to what I think every Verizon customer is waiting for, and that's the iPhone. And I wouldn't be surprised if a few months down the road we hear that iPhone announcement.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think that does just about wrap it up for part one. Tune into part two, where we're going to be discussing what exactly the release of the iPad means for AT&T, Verizon, and Apple.